I feel like every time we get a Goku announcement in the SH Figuarts line, it's always met with the same kind of response. Another Goku? Really? Really? Another Goku? Do we really need another Goku? Oh great, another Goku. Oh yay, another Goku. Well, we got another Goku, and I'm actually really happy about this one. It's probably my favorite out of the 3 base Gokus we actually have. Anyways, welcome to a not so awesome review. Today we're looking at the SH Figuarts Son Goku from Dragon Ball Super Hero, or Son Goku Super Hero as the box says. This one was found at my local Target, so you can scan the barcode there if you guys want to check out your local Target, see if they have one for you. Piccolo and Vegeta, I believe, have also been spotted at Target, so I'm sure Gohan isn't too far behind with his release coming up really soon. It should be hitting certain retailers right now, like Big Bad Toy Store and Ageless Geek, I believe. So be on the lookout. I'm sure he'll be coming in the coming months to your local retail stores. Which, by the way, local retail stores for SH Figuarts, I'm very happy that this trend is continuing. I was kind of hoping it was going to, since it is at that $35 price point, which makes it worth the buy in my opinion. Though that said, this Goku doesn't come with too many accessories. More or less the same amounts you would have gotten if you had picked up the Saiyan Rays on Earth Goku, which we do have here on the left. The only difference is that one actually does come with an extra waving hand, so you're kind of getting one less thing with this figure. And that's not even to mention the original release, which actually came with Kamehameha effect and a few other hands. That one probably, when it comes to accessories and everything like that, is the best release if you want to have a good amount of stuff. Now, I'm not going to do what I did with the Halo video and do a big, comparison or anything here. I'll probably save that for another day, because I do want to review at least the original Goku separately at some point. So we're going to focus on the superhero one, but I did want to line them up here so you guys can see the differences between them right away, so you can just gauge if you actually want to get this Goku compared to the other ones without having to sit through the entire review. That said, if you are planning on picking up the original release, which is the one right here on the right, it's something more of a collector piece at this point. It isn't too expensive. You can probably get it for just under $100, depending on when you are looking on eBay or Mercari, whichever one you prefer. It's not too expensive, but it isn't cheap compared to the other 2 releases. But it is, in a way, really nice. I do like it. It has the Kamehameha effect, has a good amount of different faces, a total of 5, and does come with a pair of kind of straight blasting hands, which the other 2 don't include. It's not that big of a deal, but I do like those hands. They're more Vegeta style hands though, so I can see why they kind of opted not to keep those on with the rest of the line, for at least Goku, I should say. That's it. I'm going to move him to the side, but yeah, if you guys want to pick this one up, I'll do a review at some point. But awesome figure. Head swapping wise, they can be interchangeable. I've had no problems with it, but it does sit a little bit higher on the neck on the new Goku, and the skin tone is off, which is going to be the main theme about the new Goku, is that the skin tone is unfortunately off compared to, I think, every other Goku in the line. We're not going to be doing head swaps. If you guys want to check that out, there is another channel that actually just, not exclusively, but he will make an entire 20-minute video of him head swapping every single Goku and every single other thing every time there's a new release. Check him out. If I can remember his name, I'll put it in the description. If I don't, sorry. If you ask me in the comments, maybe I'll try and look it up and find it for you. But there is a video out there. I'm sure he's already done one. I actually haven't checked, but he does them all the time. Anyways, looking at the 2 base Gokus that are a little bit easier to get. I don't know how difficult Saiyan Rays on Earth here on the left. I don't see it as often as I used to in stores compared to this time last year, but I'm sure he's still out there. I'm sure he's still kind of a decent-ish price. But I did want to go over these because they are basically the same exact body. There's really not too many differences aside from the paint. Now, once again, the Saiyan Rays on Earth Goku here does come with the waving hand, which looks pretty good. And if you had gotten the SDCC version or just gone online and ordered it, you can get the power pole with the extra hands for that Goku. Though you can put it on the new one because, again, kind of interchangeable. But the skin tone will definitely be off because he does have a little bit more of a yellow skin tone. I'm just going to use this to point around for a second here. So, main differences is, again, the skin tone on the old Goku is a lot more yellow. It's a lot more, I don't want to say anime accurate, but it's a lot more animated. It's not an actual skin tone that you would see in real life, more or less. Whereas the new Goku is going for the superhero look. And honestly, the skin tone on him, I think, actually looks better in my opinion. I think it's a lot more human, which I prefer. It came out really good. Again, same thing with the hair. We have I wouldn't say glossy black, but it's not as matted as the new one. They're both basically matted, but his just has a little bit more of a sheen than the new one, where it is a lot more glossy. It's a lot more dark, doesn't reflect light as well. So I do like that look. It just feels a little bit more premium. Other things to note is that you can interchange the faceplates. You don't have to swap the entire heads if you don't want to, because again, the hairs are basically the exact same molds. There's no real need to. But if you wanted to change faceplates, you can, though again, the skin tone is going to be off. That said, I'm going to move this guy to the side because again, the orange gi on him looks really good. Don't get me wrong, but it is just one solid color. And the new superhero Goku, we do have an array of colors. It's a nice orange fading to yellow. It's a good gradient. The blue on it, nice, little bit, I wouldn't say darker. It's a little bit lighter, but it is definitely a very different shade of blue than we've gotten in the past. A lot closer to the original one, but still slightly darker than what it is. So I do really like the colors on this figure. Articulation is what you expect from this Goku if you already have the original one. If you've already been messing with some of the more current SH Figuarts, you kind of know what you're getting into. It's pretty good. I will say that thankfully his head doesn't pop off too easy like the Super Saiyan 2 Goku I reviewed a couple months back, where if he looks down, it just kind of, you know, kept falling off of the thing here. It is possible, but it's not as easy. Can look down, can look up, look left and right. And he does have a slight pivot. The peg in there is still the one with the hinge. It's not a double ball peg yet. Something they really need to get on because it will definitely help in the future. But yeah, you can kind of shift it so we can get a little bit more head movement there. The neck does move slightly, but not too much. Arms can go out, let's see, about that much down. Rotate all the way around. Of course, if you manipulate the arms just the right way, you can get kind of a higher pose, something like that. Just move the elbow around so it doesn't look too broken or anything. But it is possible to get some of those higher poses if you really wanted to. Rotation at the upper arm right there. We have double jointed elbows, rotation and hinge at the wrist that you can rotate whichever way you want. Again, SH Figuart hinges, I feel like we're all used to that by now. Can lean back a good amount, lean forward a decent amount, and there is a peg in there that if you break, you can actually get a little bit more movement. It's a mod I did on this guy. Don't know if I'm going to do it on him. It does leave a big giant gap. But it is kind of funny that it's just like a little tab in there that kind of stops it from moving as far as it could. Again, it's probably just to hide the gap, but it is there. I wanted to mention it just in case you guys were interested in that little thing. Anyways, rotation and side to side on the waist. Can kick forward. He can kick back really well. His legs do go out about that much. Mine does have the tendency to pop off if you try to extend it too much, which isn't a bad thing because you don't want the joint to break. I would rather it pop off than break. Funny enough, when it pops off, you can actually take off this little piece right here of plastic like that and pop the leg back on. And it will give you just a little bit, not too much, but a little bit more range on the kick in almost every direction because there isn't a piece of plastic there. Though again, once you kind of set it down, it doesn't look as great. So you're going to want to pop that back off, put that piece back in, and pop the foot back on, just in case you guys are interested in that little, I guess, mini hack for posing. But again, rotation at the upper leg, double jointed knees. They still don't look great, but they do the job. And then we do have an ankle pivot. It does work really good. Up and back a little bit, and toe hinge. So again, articulation is what you expect for an SH Figuarts, especially for a Goku. Again, if you have the Satan Rays on Earth one, you pretty much know what you're getting here. That said, moving back to aesthetics, because that is where this figure shines, it looks really good. Again, the gi, the gradient on it looks amazing. I do like how, I don't know, something about it just really stands out, especially compared to the other Gokus when you have it next to the other ones. This one is the, I guess you can almost say, definitive version. Now, I know I saw some controversy, especially in the faces. Some people did like it, some people didn't like it. Honestly, I prefer the faces on this figure, especially compared to Saiyan Rays on Earth Goku, where he had that kind of lip-looking thing on there, which I guess I could put him out right now again, just so you guys can see. He does have a little bit of pink on his lips, which I'm not saying looks like lipstick or anything, but it always looked a little bit weird to me. His face always felt, I wouldn't say flat, but something about it looked off. I don't know. Maybe it's because he doesn't have the lines like he does on the top of his face. Maybe because he doesn't have the little things under his eyes. But the way they captured the look on this figure does stand out so much more. It looks more sketched out. It looks more cartoony. And I actually really, really like it. I like the kind of confident smirk he has in this one compared to the frowning one that he has in the Saiyan Raised on Earth one. He does come with another smirking face, a little bit more of a smile and looking up off to the left, which I would have preferred something different, if I'm being completely honest. I don't feel like we need two kind of smirking faces, but they both do look really good. Aside from that, he does come with a yelling face, which his eyes, I think, came out so much better in this one compared to Saiyan Raised on Earth. It's just more animated, more expressive. Yeah, in a kind of a way, I feel like it does look a little bit more like Gohan eyes, especially when it's not attached to the body. But either way, it still looks really good, and I feel, again, looks better than the Saiyan Raised on Earth version. And then we do have this kind of shocked Goku kind of expression, like if Chi-Chi said something rude to him, or if he got embarrassed or something, you know, one of those just typical Goku animated faces, which I honestly really like that one. I think that one might be my favorite of the bunch. If I can find a good pose for him, I think that's the one I'm going to be posing with him in my collection, assuming I have room to put him out. But it is my favorite one out of those ones. We did get one that looks similar to it in the original release, as you guys can see here, and we have a little bit in comparison. The other Goku came with just a regular happy face for Saiyan Raised on Earth. So I'm glad to see the return of this face because it's been a while, and I feel like Goku's goofy expressions are some that we definitely need in the line. Aside from that, there is no overly cheerful Goku like we got with the Saiyan Raised on Earth one or the original release, which I'm fine with. I'm not a big fan of open mouth happy faces. And the other one, well, I do like the expression with Goku smiling and everything. I think it looks pretty good. So I'll give points to the original one on that one. And the fact that that one does come with a regular smiling face just kind of adds to it. I feel like the original one, when it came to expressions, at least variety wise, still the best one. But when it comes to just looks in general, I will go with the superhero version. As for accessories, he does come with his posing hands for his fighting stance, his instant transmission hand, his blasting hands, and his Kamehameha hands, as well as a pair of fists. Again, no waving hand, which I'm fine with. We don't really need it. And again, if you really wanted to put it onto him, you can, but it'll look off because of the skin tone. Same with the power pole. You can put those hands on there, but again, unfortunately, skin tone will be off. And I think it's the same with almost every other version of Goku. This is a newer skin tone that they did for this line of figures. So even though you can change them and put the heads on the different bodies, yeah, the skin tone's going to be off, but that's kind of something that we see with most releases. They're not always like one-to-one accurate. With all that said, this Goku is a very balanced figure. I absolutely love him and prefer him over the Saiyan Raised on Earth version. Over the original version, maybe, yeah, just in looks and aesthetics wise, but the original version does have kind of like a special place in my heart, you can say, just because it was the first of his kind, being super articulated, having all these accessories, and being as good as it was. I do really like the original 1.0 bodies, but for an upgrade and everything, this is definitely one that deserves it. At the $35 mark, I can't really complain. Yes, it's more of the same, and I understand the frustration on that for people who are completionists, are buying every single figure. Yeah, I see why you would get annoyed, but for somebody who's looking for a new Goku or to upgrade their old version, this one is definitely the one to go with in that sense. Though keep in mind, again, the skin tones being so far off, you might want to keep your Saiyan Raised on Earth version as well, just so you can have a body that matches the skin tone of some of these Super Saiyan heads a little bit closer than what this one does. But all that said, yeah, I think Tamashii Nation's keeping the price down on this one. Piccolo, Vegeta, and Gohan, great on them. Absolutely love it, especially for Vegeta, because we haven't gotten a budget Vegeta, period. So the fact that they were able to give us one without giving us a more expensive version first, yeah, that's great. Especially since we have things like Piccolo, who was more expensive. Now we have a modified, arguably better version of him for less money than the last one. No cape, which is where you're saving money and why you might want the other one. But we'll get to that bridge once we get to the Piccolo review, hopefully in about a week or two whenever I pick him up. But yeah, anyways, that is my review for the Dragon Ball Super Son Goku Superhero SH Figuarts. Again, you can pick up yours at Target or go online, Amazon, Big Bad Toy Store. I would say Big Bad Toy Store over Amazon, just in the fact that I don't know if Amazon actually has it in stock right now for retail. Always check Barnes & Noble's website and check your local Barnes & Noble, because they do tend to carry them for a resale price, and I feel like not as many collectors go there to buy their Figuarts, but again, it's a place you can check. But yeah, hope you guys are enjoying the new format somewhat. Maybe I'll go back to the diorama stuff and the more photos in the beginning once I get a little bit more time, or when it's a figure that I'm really excited about and you see that in the beginning, that's when you know. Not that I'm not really excited about this figure, it's just I do have other things I need to work on. But anyways, once again, thank you all for watching and listening to me rant once again. I will see you all later. Goodbye.